Hi guys, ready for your next food practical. It's going to be a slightly different venue today. I'm cooking this one at home. It's going to be a cheese and potato pie. So we're going to need some basic ingredients for this one. Okay, we're going to need 4 potatoes, 2 tomatoes, an onion, some salt and pepper for adding some flavour. We're going to need some cheese. We've also got some butter, some milk and some bacon. And the bacon part is an optional part, you don't have to use the bacon part. Okay, now this can either be used as the main course or you can be using this as a side dish to go on with something else. I'm adding the bacon, that's going to make it a main course. It might be ideal to leave the bacon off if you just want it as a side dish. We're going to need some implements to do it, so we're going to need a chopping board, a bowl to cook it in. We're also going to need a pan of water to boil down our vegetables. We're going to need a large chef's knife and we're going to need a potato peeler. Before we start anything else, we need to get hands washed. So I've already just got myself a sink of water ready to wash my hands whenever I need to. And we're also going to need to turn our oven on, so we'll get that turned on ready. I'm going to put it to 190 degrees. Okay, get that turned on ready. And finally, take any jewellery off, so that's out of the way. So I've got my jewellery out of the way. Task 1, as always, sort the veggies out. So I'm going to move those away. I'm going to start off with my potatoes. And all I'm going to do with the potatoes is I'm going to peel them, I'm going to chop them into relatively small bits and put them into my pan of water, and they're going to simmer away and they're going to soften down. They're going to become part of our mashed potato later. So I'm going to get these potatoes peeled and I'll be back with you when I've done that. Okay, as always, clear up as you go. Potatoes peeled. Now we need to dice. Floor method or bridge method over the top. I'm going to dice them into chunks about that sort of size, and they go straight into the water. All the potatoes in the pan. Get your oven turned on, or get your hob turned on, and we're going to turn that up to medium high. And while that's starting to boil, I'm going to start on my onion. So claw across the top and tail, top and tail of the onion. Clean up as you go. Peel that top outer layer of onion skin off because we don't want that crunchier part. And then we're going to dice this onion. So remember, we are going to do that method where we vertical cut. First horizontal cut. And then vertical cut again. Claw method, fingers back, slicing through so it comes out as little diced chunks. And all of this onion is going to go in with my potato. Okay, and that's it for now. We're literally just going to leave that for about 15 minutes for those potatoes to boil down to start becoming soft so we can mash them in a little bit. Right, now while those potatoes are boiling down, there's a couple of the jobs I can do while I'm waiting. I can get my tomatoes. I'm going to slice these. These are going to become a nice layer of tomato on the top. So I'm just going to get a knife. I'm going to very carefully claw method back again and cut this into slices that are about 5mm thick. On to the next stage. We're going to check that these potatoes have softened up nicely. So I'm going to get myself a large dessert spoon, get one of the potatoes out. I'm going to get a fork and I'm going to just check to see that it's nice and soft and breaking up. Okay, so that's going to be perfect for mashing. So I'll just put that back in there. This is where you might need to get somebody to help you. I'm just going to turn the hob off. I've got a colander ready because I'm going to drain the potatoes and I'm going to drain the onion out of there, and then I'm going to put them back into the bowl. So carefully drain. Okay, so that's all my potatoes drained off. So in there I've got potato and I've got onion. I'm putting it on my chopping board, but if you've got a trivet, use a trivet rather than putting it straight onto your work surface, because you don't want to damage your work surface. And the next thing we want to do is we want to start mashing these up. So potato masher, just get them all nicely mashed up. So that's starting to mash them. Now I'm going to put some butter in. This is going to give it a bit of a creamier texture. I'm also going to add some milk. Again, add to that creamy texture. Carry on mashing that in. And now we're going to get some salt and pepper in here just to give it a bit of flavour. So add a little bit of salt for seasoning. A twist of pepper for seasoning. And this is where the cheese comes in. Now because the potato is still hot, as I add my cheese, it should start melting into the potato. So I'm going to get a good handful of cheese. And I'm going to get a spoon. I'm going to start mixing that in. And it was the heat from the potato will melt my cheese. Now you could use grated cheese, you could use pre-grated cheese, you could buy it as a lump and grate it yourself, that's up to you. Now we are going to bake this, so into the bowl. So all of this is going to get emptied out into a baking dish. And finally, this is where you've got some choices. If you don't want to have any meat on it, then you can leave the bacon off. Or if you do want to have some meat on there, you can add some bacon over the top. We've got our tomato, and we're going to create a layer of tomato over the top. And that is going to go into the oven, preheated at about 180, 190 degrees, and it's going to go in there for about half an hour, and that will thoroughly cook the potato through. So you're going to get a nice firm top to the potato. It's going to cook up that bacon, so the bacon's really nice and well done. Now if you want to, you don't have to put it straight in the oven. You could obviously cling film it, put it in the fridge, and then bake it a little bit later in the evening when you do actually want it. Okay, that might be an alternative way. But I'm going to come back in about half an hour's time and we'll see how well that's cooked. Okay, it's been in for about half an hour, so let's check how it's done. Okay, so we've got a nice crispy top around the edge there, so that's got a nice crisp topping on it, and the bacon looks like it's fully cooked, so not a bad job.